Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of Ask Professor G Live. I'm coming to you today from my closet. You see that I've got some setup here for some video that we've been doing, and there's a lot of noise outside. So today's theme and topic is all about decision making. And so I had make some very quick changes and adjustments to my decisions to do this outside and rush it into my closet. Luckily, I already had this set up for you for videos I'm creating for the Big Decision Blueprint product that went live this week. And so I'm excited to welcome you. Hello, hello, hello. Today we're going to talk all about decision making and what you can do to be a more powerful decision maker. Now, the conversations for Ask Professor G Live is all about you. What questions have you asked and what curiosities have you sparked so that we can get moving in the life that you want? So I'm so excited to share this with you today. And we're just going to dive right in. So I know a lot of times we will spend a lot of time talking, and I'm a wordy person, but this live is all about you. So let's start with question number one that I got this week. The question was, and this is from someone who is very commonly asking questions. Actually, I love interaction with this student. How do I choose a major when I don't know what I like? So one of the biggest things I see in a classroom, I'll tell you that, first of all, I'm not going to use names here for anonymity, but first of all, we're going to say Jessica. We're just going to make up a name for you. So Jessica, thank you for your question. And I just want to remind you that you're not alone. This is a common question. I get this all the time. They're pressuring me. It usually comes in a form of complaint. Jessica is really good about asking questions that are empowering her. And so when I see this, a lot of times it comes in form of a complaint, like right, the feeling of pressure, and it's a valid complaint. I'm being asked to pick a major, and I don't even know what I like. Right? Sometimes it's like I don't really know how to choose what I want for lunch. Like I go with the habits that my parents have taught me, but don't really know how to, let's say, go beyond that. And when you're trying to switch it up and make new decisions and be on your own and figure all of that out, it can be a little scary. So Jessica, I'll say to you that one of the biggest things about choosing your major, if you don't know what you like, it's really, really hard to just pick something for the rest of your life, right? So I'm going to encourage you first, Jessica, to explore. So go out, let go of one of the first modules in the Big Decision Blueprint is actually let go. You're going to let go of all of the things you think you should do. So you're going to let go of the word should, no more shoulds. Just let that go. Stop trying to fit yourself and who you are into a box that you can already perceive. A lot of times what I see is students will tell me, I'm here because my mom wanted me to, or my sister did this. I get this one a lot. Actually, my bigger brother or sister went to college and my parents thought it was a good idea for me too. Maybe you don't have that sense of definition. Older siblings, the firstborn sibling, just by rule of science, typically has a little more drive, a little more ambition. They're kind of born natural leaders. They're used to being in charge, right? When they come along, mom and dad are still figuring it out. So like the baby gets full control of the household. And sorry guys, if you're not first in the birth order, then by the time mom and dad are starting to figure it out. So they're in charge now. So a lot of times if you're not driven with that, with that type, or maybe you are firstborn, but it just didn't get you, right? Maybe your parents figured it out before you came along. So what starts to happen is you start to second guess every decision you make because you're taking that and comparing it to what other people might believe or feel, or is it right? And is it okay? I hear that one a lot. Like, is it okay? Like, I kind of like that. Is that okay? And one of my favorite talk show hosts and now just brilliant entrepreneur all around, Oprah, often says that I saw her in an interview, and the one thing after interview after interview after interview, she gets the one question at the end, no matter how high profile, no matter how powerful, no matter how confident the person is in the interview seat, and she'll get the question, was that okay? And we all want to know if we did a good job. So let yourself be committed to doing the best you, but give yourself a break. So for you, Jessica, with the question, and I'll repeat it for those of you who are tuning in perhaps late, how do I choose a major when I don't even know what I like? The first thing is to stop trying to choose. Don't let the pressures of the outside world force you into a rabbit hole that you have to choose. A lot of times, because college can be quite expensive for many of us, um, and if you're not scholarshiped or you don't have funds to help you, this is your job to pay for it. So we get kind of caught up in the, well, I got to hurry because I don't want to spend extra time in college because that's going to be extra money, right? Or I have to hurry so I can get out there and start making money. And I want to tell you that it's really no hurry. This is like your whole life you're setting up, right? Now, the good news is whatever you choose as a major, often, I don't know the statistics on that, but a lot of times, uh, we don't even end up working in the major we chose. I did a business undergrad thinking and focused in finance, thinking I was going to be an investment banker. 7 months in that, and I said, not for me. And in the process of figuring out what I want to do when I grow up, I said, well, what do I do that's okay? Like I can do some things, right? What can I do instead? I wasn't really down for like not working. I was 19, I think 20 years old, and I really wasn't down for not working. I guess I would have been 22 out of college. And I wasn't down for not working. And so I just explored like, what would that look like? What would that be if I stepped up and did a thing that I just enjoy until I figure it out? So give yourself an opportunity to go forward without having it figured out and just do the thing and pick a thing. Doesn't matter what the thing is. And so what happened for me is I was already teaching aerobics and personal training. So I found out I liked working with people. And I remembered that in school, I often tutored my friends, and I was a good tutor. You know, that kind that is annoying because they won't do the work for you, but when you're done, you actually know the work. I was that person from a young age. When I'm tutoring and helping you, you're going to learn. We're not going to do this thing of, like figure it out and I'll just kind of do it because it's easier. For some reason, I had a knack for staying in the learning with people. And I thought, well, I'm going to go see if I could teach a college course while I figure out what I want to do. And in that process, miracles happened because I wasn't supposed to be able to teach college with a bachelor degree. And I've shared that story multiple times on other venues, but I just went for it. I just went in and said, what would that take? Do you have some classes I could teach? And it just so happened the timing and everything worked out with divine timing. And by the next week, because the semester was starting, which is probably why they said yes to me, I was in a classroom. Fast forward 2 quarters, we were on a quarter system back then, 3 quarters a year, then the summer off. And fast forward a couple of quarters, and I'm passing out papers and I'm singing. And I notice I'm singing. Like I didn't even realize it, just passing papers. I was just so happy, so in my element that I was actually singing as I was passing out papers. It was right before class. Most of the students were there. And it dawned on me, love this. I love this classroom stuff. Now, I was at the time teaching writing, and I'm not particularly fond of reading everyone else's mistakes all the time and being responsible to get all of the red notes back. And I wasn't fond of that, but I found out I love teaching. And so I could then make a decision at the age of 23 as I was behaving as a professor, right? In it was called remedial club. Back then we called them developmental. I think when I was in school, they called them remedial. So a class that wasn't quite college level, but it let me know what I loved. And so then I said, well, what would it take for me to do this full time, but not in English, in business, the thing I know and understand and enjoy. And next thing you know, I'm on a path to a master's degree, a doctorate, finished the education, which was then for me, people were like, how did you get your doctorate? To me, I feel like I just did it. It was easy. Now it was hard work during, but I knew what to do because I knew exactly what I wanted from it. I said, I want to be a professor. What does it take? And then I found out the education that it takes and I pursued that. So what I would say to you, Jessica, is just give yourself a break. Don't feel the pressure of choosing right now based on the boxes of everyone else, but think into this and play. Do the things that you would love to do. Do the things that appeal to you, that get you excited, make you feel alive and happy. Do those, and what you're really could offer yourself to do in the world is going to show up. And sometimes it's going to show up late, right? I was completely finished with my bachelor degree in and planning on being an investment banker when I discovered my love for professorship. And so then I had to do more school. And in my case, I got to do more school. I freaking love school. I do. I love school. And I think that we don't have the best system in the United States for school these days. Education has kind of gotten boxed more and more and more. And I stand up firmly against the way we are delivering education, but I stand firmly for education. And we must be learners. We must be growing. The other way is just, what do we get? We get stagnation, right? And we all know what happens in a stagnant pool. So let yourself explore. That's my short answer to you. How do I pick a major when I don't even know what I like? Let go of it being a major. Let go of it being a life decision, because 9 chances out of 10, you're going to change your mind several times along the way. And you all may know that I'm working with my son, Braden, actively in his own gap year plan right now, and actually implementing his plan at this point. And he doesn't know either. Every day it's something new. Like right now we're talking about rocket science, ENT, and ear, nose, and throat doctor, politics, and a couple other things perhaps. So like we're in the process with him, and he's looking for ways to explore those. If you guys want a hint of one of the things that he's doing to be successful, he's now searching for ENT doctors in the area so he can reach out and see about being a shadow and creating a shadowing experience. In other words, a shadow is just following someone along, watching what they do, getting involved with the processes and how that work is, so that you can get exposure and just figure out if that's a match for you. Is this what you want your day to look like? One of the most powerful ways to get moving on the right life for you, this is a little bonus tip, is to just try things and then pay attention to how you feel. Notice the day, like especially in the shadowing experience, you'll have an opportunity to say, oh, okay, well, the day in the life of the ENT professional is this. And when you start to see that, you can say, would I like my days to be like that? Or would I dread getting up in the morning? And if you feel a sense of dread at anything, it's not for you. Now, do we have to sometimes dig in and do the hard things? Yes. But when you get the vision, the hard things aren't so hard. Then they're just the things you do to get there, right? Let's face it. Here's an example. I took my braids out this weekend, and today was the first day I had to do my own hair and figure all that out. And I haven't gone to get my hair done yet, and I have all this stuff, and it turns out, because I moved in the process, I've had braids for the last 4 or 5 months. I don't have hair products. I don't have a hair dryer. I don't have all the things I needed to make that happen. So I was able to go, oh, okay, well, this is a struggle, but I had a vision, right? I could have easily said, oh, I'm not going to do my hair today. But I had a vision to get on this YouTube live. And even though it was annoying for me this morning to have to figure out like hair, because I haven't had to do that for 5 months, even though I was hearing the noise outside and I got to figure out the noise so I can get this live going, all of those contributed to one thing, and that is getting here. And I've been so excited to start this live and actually start answering publicly the questions that I'm getting so that it can help others too, because I started to notice, hey, a lot of people have these same questions. And so that vision pushed me toward doing the hard thing, right? So don't try to do all the hard things and then get a vision out of it. You're never going to be excited to do hard things if you just for the sake of doing hard things, right? Unless you're a little bit of a masochist, that's another conversation. So just try things, try them on, put them on, see if you like them, see how you feel. Do you feel happy, energized? Do you feel drained? Do you dread it? But give everything a little chance, kind of like hot yoga. They tell me I've never quite given hot yoga the chance it deserves. But if you just dive in and give something a chance for a little while, get past the resistance, give it a chance long enough to see what develops, and you're going to find out things that you like or don't like that way. So that's my answer to you, Jessica. How do you choose? Well, start finding out what you like and let go of the pressure of choosing a major. Let the major find you. If you're doing the things you love, eventually you're going to say, well, how could I do this for my life, right? Something's going to spark. Get out there, reach out to the things you think you like, and perhaps do some shadowing. Look for internships, but internships are usually for those who know they're going down a path and they're going to go deeper. So look more for like shadowing, finding ways to connect, research the day in the life of something that you like, get involved, volunteer. Those are ways to find out if you like things. And first, find out what you like. Don't let anyone pressure you to choose a major. Even if you declare it on paper for them, it doesn't matter. Do what feels right to you. Pick classes that are fun. I took tennis in college. I took pottery in college. I took Spanish in college. None of those were needed. These were the classes I took after I finished college, actually. And I was a professor and found out that we got access to the other classes on campus. I just started taking classes because why not, right? So find things that excite you and inspire you and do those. That is the best way to really get on board with what would be a good major for you. And here's a pro tip, guys. Your major doesn't matter that much. If you want to be a doctor, it's going to be med school that matters. So any major that might get you in the door to med school is great. Let's say you decided you wanted to be a doctor after you finished your undergrad. No problem. There are classes you can take to bridge the gap of what you missed so that you can move on into med school. There are ways to do anything that you want to do. So let go of the pressure of figuring it all out today and give yourself a break. Go do something you love and do that at least once a week, something new that you could love, or do again the thing that you start to notice that you do love and keep doing it and see if you love it. I highly recommend you get with some professionals who have done careers, who've built a life and a career in something that you're interested in, and talk with them, right? You don't have to do a full shadowing experience until you actually get something that intrigues you. So phone calls. I know. It's so scary to pick up that phone, but I promise you it's worth it. Just like messing with your hair or anything else that you want to do, pick up the phone. When you pick up that phone, you are going to get answers, and that's what matters. And who knows, you might land a job in the middle of it, because often we, business owners, we reward and acknowledge bravery. And when you pick up that phone and talk to a doctor's office and you have no idea what you're doing when you start, that's brave. So you never know. Some opportunity might land in its lap too, as someone recognizes your bravery. So thank you, Jessica, for your question. And I'll remind you all, keep sending your questions. I would love to keep answering them. The question 2 for today: how do I get more confidence when making decisions? Ooh. I love this one. You guys, confidence is so tricky, right? And I know that sometimes the biggest thing we see is, I don't know how. One of the questions, or one of the limiting conversations I get into in my mind sometimes is, I don't know. And so I've actually taken the word I don't know out of my vocabulary. And when I catch myself going, well, I don't know, but da da da. And a lot of times I would even use I don't know before I would say something I do actually obviously know, since I had something to say about it. So pay attention first where you are speaking lack of confidence into your life. That one was a big one for me, just taking out the words I don't know. And when I catch myself in that, like, oh, I don't know, just stop and walk away. Give yourself a break. I have places in my journal where I've really written down, because this is my personal struggle, is the question of, well, I don't know, and feeling like, how can I move forward if I don't know the answers? And what I will do now is I will start in my journal and I'll say, well, what do I know? And I'll write the things I know. When I'm feeling worthless, or like maybe my life isn't really adding value to the world, I will write a list of, well, how do I add value? So the first thing is to begin recognizing your own value where it does shine. So instead of trying to build up confidence out of nothing in the areas that scare you, do something small. What do you know? Where could you shine? Start self-talking. Man, I got in the mirror. In 2010, I decided that it was time to love my body as it was, without change, without needing it to shift or change, or the weight to come off, or the da-da-da. And in 2010, I said, you know what? I am going to love my body. That is my intention for this entire year. And how I got there, and I really, really, really do. I appreciate my body so much now that it's sometimes hard to stay on track with healthy habits, because I'm like, I look so beautiful no matter what. And I feel that in my soul. But that started for me about 10 years ago, when I got in the mirror and I said, okay, well, I know I don't really love my thighs, or I don't really love at the time, I really hated my stomach. this, that, and the other. I could say, oh, my arms are a little flabby or my da da da. And instead, I got in the mirror and I was like, what do I see? And I would, get in the mirror in my underwear and I would be like, ooh, and I would do poses and be like, I really like, and this was one of my go-tos. I really like my shape. Like I was blessed with a body that has a natural hourglass shape. And when I take care of it, my waist stays kind of small, not itty bitty like the little bitty girls, but it's just normal, right? Just small. And just starting to appreciate that. Another big one for me is, wow, legs, you are so strong. And I would talk to my legs and look at them and be present with them. And wow, we run, we hike, we do all these things. And at the time, maybe I was super into fitness, maybe that might have been the time that I was about 3 hours a day in the gym. It was kind of ridiculous. But I was so dedicated to doing it. And what I found from all of that is by just choosing, I'm going to be confident in that one area. By the end of 2010, I wasn't lying. I wasn't needing to just pick one little part that I kind of like about me and let that be enough. I was in love with my body and all that it can do and how it gives me access to smells. Oh my God, I would smell roses and be like, yes. And so just to dive in, like I can feel that in my body as I imagine sniffing the roses. And I don't even have any roses near me, but just feeling that aliveness of that and really celebrating what I do have and what I am. And that starts to build confidence. And then there are tons of ways. And in fact, in the Big Decision Blueprint, I take you through the whole process of like, what does it mean to let go? Are we setting new limitations for ourselves and like eliminating the ones we have? And so how do we stand firmly in the decisions once we've made them? We have templates to help you, write out the decisions you do have to make and choose among them. But the most important thing that I'll share with you in question number 2 is before you try to solve any problem, before you try to make a big decision, then just learn how to get your own feeling. Now, some of you feel it in your heart, right? My heart says yes, right? You ever say that? Some of you feel it in your gut, and our gut is a really strong indicator either of limiting patterns that we have that are facing us. Sometimes we're like, oh, but really what it is like that limiting belief showing up. But often it's a negativity, right? Like if we feel a gut feeling of no, the answer is probably no. And sometimes it's no just for now, right? Not right now. Don't get focused on that. Don't get distracted by that. That's not good for us. So just because you get a hit of no doesn't mean something is no forever. So let go of needing. And the biggest thing is don't try to force the answer, right? So when you're in that answer and you're sitting with it and it's a no, but you really wanted to go. There's a retreat this weekend I've been invited to. I'm still in the decision of that retreat. And my heart says yes, but my mind and my energy are like, oh, there's so much going on in my life right now. Do I really have the space to do that? And to get clear on that decision, tomorrow I actually have space in my calendar set aside just to specifically sit and meditate with that and decide for myself. Like I know the pressures of what it takes to get there. It's not close. And what this will be and what I want from it, and then the pressure and the work that it'll take and balancing those out. And is this something I want? And here's what I'll tell you about my decision making. Most of the time I make my decisions first. So I know what I want. I get clear on the what I want, letting go of all the ideas of what I should, but really what would I want? If I could wave a magic wand, this is my favorite phrase. If you could wave a magic wand and make your life however you want it to be, what would that look like? And for me, that's become my driving force. Well, I would want it to be like that. And that's the decision I make. And then I come back and look at the logistics, the financials. You guys know I know money stuff. I've studied money stuff for 20 some years, my whole career. And so it's easy for me to plug in the money stuff and say, does the money work? Right? Because at the end of the day, if you say yes to a wonderful experience over here, but it drains you over here, like it doesn't fit your money profile or it doesn't fit your risk profile or your level of stretching profile, it might actually knock you out of balance. And this is why I haven't made the decision yet on the retreat this weekend, because I've been busy in my work and I haven't really given myself time to decide. the extra pressures that it requires to get packed, to get ready, to drive the 5 hours, all of those pieces of the decision, I'll align that and know that if that's going to make me feel more drained and tired for going, then maybe it's not a good choice for me. But if I look at that and I say, yeah, but it's just a 5 hour drive and I used to do that all the time, and you know, then if that's how I'm feeling with it, then I'm probably more inclined to go. And I'll know that tomorrow when I sit with it, right? So don't make quick decisions and allow yourself the space and time to just sit with it, to know what you want. The how is easy, right? It's not even your job to do the how. Once we get you going where you want to be, uh, once we get you in the decision, then we just look at, well, what are the steps to get there? The how, don't worry about the how. And this is something I've been working on with Braden all week is, okay, well, we like this. And he'd say, yeah, but how's that going to happen? Not my business right now. The how gets once the decision is made, right? So we look at some of the pieces of what it might take from us to do that, like time, money, energy, but we don't worry about the how until we've actually made the choice that, yes, this is what I want. Then we put our energy and efforts to the how. If you try to look at the how for every decision you're making, you're going to get so overwhelmed that you're just not able to make any decisions at all. A confused mind says no. So if you find yourself sitting on the couch and say, or sitting in your room and saying, I want to, I'm going to do this, if you continue to sit there, you're going to continue to want to sit there. Remember the law of physics. An object in motion will stay in motion, and an object at rest will stay at rest unless what? You guys know this. Come on, physics people. Unless acted upon by an outside force. So when you're in the decision, the best way to gain confidence is to pick those little things. Wait till you're sure, you're clear on it. Yes, I want this, and then go for it. Don't worry about the how. Don't worry about the feeling of, can I do it? That's not your business. Do I want to do this? Is this something I want in my life? Remember, how does this impact my day, my month, my year? And do I want that? And if your answer is yes, then choose yes, and then we'll figure out the how. And when you start to do that, the confidence will just be there because you know what you want. The how just works itself out, right? I can't tell you the number of miracles in my life right now just because my family said, hey, we're going to move to California. And everybody said, oh, how are you going to do that? Isn't it expensive? The biggest one I heard, isn't it expensive? Well, I kind of understand money, so I kind of know that. So thank you everyone for your concerns. But for me, that once I saw the light in Braden's eyes and how he was excited and his whole world expanded at the concept of moving here, I was in. There was no other option for me. There wasn't, oh, that's scary or that's whatever. I mean, did I feel fear sometimes? For sure. We're packing up our entire livelihood and moving it across the country in the middle of a pandemic, not knowing the details, where we're going to stay, how it's going to work out. But everything has worked out so perfectly. So I just want to encourage you, when you are in that decision process, the best way to gain confidence is to choose powerfully and then worry about the how as that unfolds. But once you get really clear and sure in the yes, then keep reminding yourself of that feeling. Go there every single day until you've reached whatever it is that you're choosing. Decision making really doesn't have to be so scary, even though I know sometimes it's really scary. And as this last person, we're going to call this last person Brad. It was a male submitting this question. And this, which was interesting because I just read some science that males don't feel overwhelmed, and I disagree based on this question. I'm feeling overwhelmed, but I want to be successful. So this, I believe that we're going to call him Brad, was expressing like, I'm stressed, but I'm committed, right? That's what I'm hearing in your words, Brad. I'm stressed, but I'm committed. So I'm feeling overwhelmed, but I want to be successful. I just don't have a clue what that would look like, right? So how many of you out there are like, I want success, but I don't know what that looks like for me, right? It can be daunting. So the question from Brad, Professor G, how do I make sure what I am doing will help me be successful? Okay, so I love this one. And thanks so much, Brad, for being vulnerable and open. And what I have for you is something so simple. How do you know what you're going to do is going to be successful? You don't. The short answer is you don't. But how do you know that you will be successful in the grand scheme of life? That's another story, right? So you can't know for sure about any one thing. We go for it, we do the best we can. Life is fickle, the world changes in an instant. At the beginning of 2020, I was preparing to do live retreats, and my whole business model was built on bringing you together in a live retreat. Then March came and everything changed. So was I successful at live retreats? No, it's not the right time to try to do that, right? Especially since this was a launch for me. So sometimes things aren't as successful as we thought they would be, but instead of looking at it like, was that successful? Instead, I said, oh, did I successfully change and move what I was doing to still get the impact, right? So for me, it was about connecting, helping my students really get clear on what life is going to look like for them, and then empowering them to actually take those steps and do it. But a big part of that is really the inner work, the deep work of getting clear and being a powerful decision maker and trusting yourself. We do a lot of work in trusting ourselves in the program. And so, Brad, I would say to you that you can't really know if that particular thing would be successful, but what you can know is that you will. And I love that you preface this with kind of I don't really know what I'm doing, but I know I'm going to be successful, right? You know you want that. And I say focus to that vision, Brad, because you are successful. The fact that you're reaching out and asking these questions now, the fact that you are engaged and considering what success even looks like for you at this younger age. Welcome to adulthood, guys. Not everything we try works. You knew this even in school, right? But what is different now is you are in charge, and it's your decisions and what you want. And you can easily go into something and try it out and give it everything you've got. And if it's not a good fit, that's okay. Guess what? I know a year, even 4 years, college seems like a long time. And it's a lot of time to waste if you're just going to go to college and not have any energy toward it. But whether you're going to college or not, these years, these 18 to 25, you're becoming an adult, finding out what that looks like for you, and then trying your plan and taking it on with you. It's so fun, and I'm so glad to be leading you guys in it. And Brad, I'm going to say to you, you've got this, man. You've got this because you are in it. You're asking, you are precious. And if any of you are looking for how do I know something is going to be successful, what I would say to you is the same thing that I say to Brad. You really don't know that, but you can know you. And one thing I can tell you is I don't know if the Paid to Be Me program is going to be a massive hit. I don't know this yet. It could be a total flop. It could be the thing that puts me on the map in the education space, right? I don't know. But what I do know is that I'm going to keep teaching. What I do know is that I'm committed to making transformation in the lives of my students. And what I do know is I am capable of that, right? And I have to tell myself that piece often, but I am capable and I know I can do it. So keep staying in it, stay in the flow, keep asking the questions. I promise you, your life is going to keep going upward if you just keep focusing there. I heard a minister say, gosh, I was like 13 years old. Guys, it's a long time ago. But I heard a minister say once, the direction of your eyes determines the direction of your feet. Now, I was an adamant student of the Bible when I was young. So I wrote it all in my little precious Bible. It's still in there to this day, if I have that Bible anymore. And I've really lived my life by that. The direction of your eyes determine the direction of your feet. So if you're on your path and you're looking over at everyone else's path to see how they're doing it because you don't know about your own, you're going to veer. And then you're going to get probably stuck in some of those other people's paths that you don't want, or, right? You've tried it with driving, perhaps, right? If you're not focused on the road, you'd veer. So keep your eyes on the prize. Keep your eyes on what you want. The best way to gain confidence is to just stay secure in where you're going and what you want, even when you don't really see the how or what that's going to be, and be confident in that. And self-talk. Little bonus tip again, self-talk. Tell yourself, get in the mirror. Right now, I can look in this camera and I can see my own face, and you are delicious. You are Wonderful. I love you so much. Oh, you do you know what the impact you're making in the world? Do you know that right now by simply stepping up and saying yes to these lives that you are going to show people a better way? Perhaps something to just make life a little better, a little juicier, to help them get through the times of pressure in life when life is hard, but we find out that that's the time that we're squeezing the juice out of you, right? But because you know who you are, you know what kind of juice you're getting, and you can look at this juice and don't try to, if you're an apple, don't try to make yourself into orange juice. Just be freaking apple juice and be the best apple juice you can be. And that's how you gain confidence. Don't look there. Don't look there. Don't try to figure it out based on what everybody else is doing, but look here. Look here. And here I mean not your thinking brain, but your knowing brain, right? That part of you that's connected to your higher spirit that can pull those answers in for you. Stay connected in your heart. Use your voice to say what is true for you, and don't let any untruth be spoken of your mouth. If you say I'm so stupid, if that's your phrase, just even catch the thing, throw it into the middle of the ground or throw it up into the sun. Like, don't let those words cross your mouth. And then my rule is if I catch myself in a negative talk, I have 10 times I have to say throughout the day. Like if I say, oh, so stupid, right? We all kind of have those moments. Oh, getting rid of that. Okay. Now it's my job today to identify throughout the day 10 places where I show my intelligence. So, maybe I'm writing up something and I'm like, oh, that's good. Boom, ding. And so I'm looking for 10 ways to counteract the negative talk. The best way to gain confidence is to freaking own it, right? Just own it. And you guys have got that. I love you guys. Please, please, please send your questions. I'm so excited to be answering these, to be live with you. We're going to do this every week. So I'll be looking for your questions. The first 2 of you every week who send in your questions will definitely make it onto the live. And depending on time, I'm going to try to keep these at 30 minutes-ish doing that today. And so send your questions. I'm going to answer them every week. And we're just going to keep going, guys. You've got this. You are the controller, the director, and the composer of your life. So go out there and make it awesome. I love you guys. See you next week. Bye.